My new apartment has one rule: cover every mirror by midnight. I'm typing this on a library computer at 4 a.m. because I left my laptop an hour ago and have no plans on going back for it. If you're listening to this and looking for a cheap apartment in the Pacific Northwest, avoid the Greystone district at all costs. Don't sign the lease. Don't take the keys. And for the love of everything holy, if you see an addendum that reads Midnight Guest Protocol, get the hell out. I thought I was slick. I thought I was snagging the steal of a century, an $800 a month 2-bedroom loft. I didn't care that the property manager, a twitchy woman who I'll refer to as Mrs. G, refused to make eye contact when she thrust the pen at me, nor when she said the plumbing gargled at night. I signed my name, I took the keys, and then she handed me the welcome kit. It wasn't fruit. It was a toolbox containing 3 rolls of industrial gaffer tape, a pile of thick blackout curtains, and a single sheet of paper with bold, capitalized, bizarre instructions. The rules are non-negotiable, she warned me. Eviction is the least of your worries if you disobey them. I laughed in her face. I'm not laughing now. I'm a junior architect, which is a fancy way of saying I work insane hours for poverty wages. I needed to be within walking distance of the firm, and these lofts seemed perfect. The floor-to-ceiling windows, exposed brick, and industrial chic looked like the interior of a high-end design magazine. During the showing, all the windows were covered with the thickest drapes I'd ever seen, and even the bathroom mirror, a giant antique bolted to the wall, was shrouded in a black sheet. Mrs. G explained it away as the previous tenant being a light-sensitive hypochondriac. But when it came to signing the lease, she flipped to page 14. Clause 7, she whispered. The Midnight Guest Protocol. It read as follows. Tenant agrees that between 2:14 a.m. and 4:44 a.m., all reflective surfaces in the unit must be covered. This includes, but is not limited to, mirrors, windows, televisions, and unpolished metallic surfaces. Failure to comply shall be construed as an invitation. Management is not liable for any physical or psychological distress incurred due to an invitation. I asked her if this was a joke, if the building was haunted. Mrs. G did not laugh. She just tapped the paper with a chipped nail. This is a term of occupancy. The reduced rent accounts for the inconvenience. Do you want the apartment or not? I was broke and desperate. I signed the lease. I assume I'd play along with their stupid superstition for a few months, save some money, and get the hell out. I don't believe in ghosts. I believe in contract law and cheap rent. The first night, I moved my stuff in. I was thoroughly embarrassed, but did my rounds covering the reflective surfaces. I set an alarm on my phone for 1:50 a.m., got around the apartment and pulled down all the curtains, threw a towel over the bathroom mirror and spun the computer monitor around. It felt like a toddler playing hide and seek. The first week was incredibly uneventful. A bit boring, really. I would do my rounds and then drift off to sleep to the muffled sound of traffic. The walls are very thick, concrete and brick, so once the curtains are drawn, you're in your own sealed-off little world. But about midway through the second week, things started to shift, though I can't really explain how I know. It was this intense feeling, the kind where you feel the prickles on your neck when someone's staring at you, just 100 times worse. Around 3 a.m. one night, I got thirsty, the kind of half awake, stumbling to the kitchen to get a glass of water thirsty. I'd skipped turning on the light, navigating by the ambient streetlight filtering through the crack between the drapes and the window. I grabbed a clean glass off the dish rack and turned on the tap. When I raised the glass to my lips, I froze. My microwave. I'd completely forgotten the door. It was black glass and shiny, a perfect mirror of the dark kitchen behind me. Except it wasn't. In the reflection, in the microwave, was a figure. Tall and incredibly thin. It was wrapped in what looked like damp bandages, and the angle of its head seemed impossible. Its skull nearly resting on its shoulder. It was looking at me. The glass slipped from my fingers and shattered on the floor. I spun around, my heart hammering in my chest, waiting to be attacked. There was no one in the kitchen. I looked back at the microwave. The only reflection was of my dark, empty kitchen. I chalked it up to sleep paralysis, a hallucination induced by stress and suggestion. Immediately, I taped a sheet of cardboard over the microwave door. I cleaned up the glass with shaking hands, slicing my finger open, and didn't sleep again that night. Since then, I went militant. Not just draping the mirrors, I gaff taped them. I taped over the shiny chrome on my toaster. I taped over the glass front of my oven. I even put a matte screen over my laptop and my phone, and I still shut it down and buried it under my pillow way before 2:14 a.m. I started doing research by going to the city archives. The lofts were a textile factory back in the 1920s that caught fire in 1928. 12 people died in a room lined with mirrors. Then I looked into the tenants before me. They didn't just move out. I found a police report for the apartment 3 doors down. Domestic disturbance call. They found the tenant screaming in the bathroom, clawing at the mirror, saying, "It's not me. That's not me in there." I should have left then. I should have paid the lease break fee and slept in my car. But humans are stubborn creatures. I told myself I had this under control. I had a system. As long as I stuck to the rules, the midnight guest could not enter. The lease stated that an uncovered reflective surface was an invitation. If I did not invite it, it could not enter. It had rules. But I forgot one detail. The most dangerous reflective surface is not a mirror or a window. Tonight, I had a deadline on a huge stadium rendering for work. I was running on caffeine and sheer anxiety. I stayed up late, and the time hit 2 a.m. I saved the project, shut down the computer, and did my rounds. Big mirror covered, checked the windows, checked the appliances, felt safe. I went into the bathroom to brush my teeth, leaving the hall light off and a dim night light on so that the chrome of the faucet wouldn't unexpectedly flash and startle me into catching my reflection. I spat in the sink, watching the water swirl down the drain. But then, the water stopped draining. The water gathered in the white porcelain bowl of the sink. It rose, dark and still. And there it was, a perfectly circular, reflective surface. I stared down at it. I couldn't tear my eyes away. I saw my own face in the reflection of the still water. But the reflection was wrong. My reflection was not looking down into the sink. It was looking straight ahead at me and smiling. It wasn't a human smile. It stretched way too far. The eyes in the reflection were entirely black. Not the normal black with a white dot of a pupil, just an abyss where an eye should be. I tried to step away. I tried to scream, but I was frozen. The guest wasn't behind me this time. It was in the reflection, and it was rising. The water in the sink began to ripple, not from the drain, but from the center, as though something were pushing up from below. My reflection's hands began to emerge, not down into the sink, but up, out of the water. Icy, cold fingers gripped my throat. They felt solid, like iron. They felt so cold against my skin. I could feel the chill penetrate my shirt, smelling faintly of stagnant rot and copper. I was pulled downward. My face was only inches from the surface of the water, as those two black holes in the reflection of my own face fixed on mine, and a voice resonated, not in the room, but in my own skull. Thank you. I thrashed, kicked. My arm flailed and knocked over the heavy porcelain toilet tank lid. Without thought, I swung, smashing the toilet tank lid down onto the sink. The ceramic cracked and the sink broke apart, water spraying everywhere, drenching my legs. The reflection shattered into 1,000 glittering wet pieces. The grip around my throat released immediately. I tumbled onto the tile floor, gasping for air, coughing. Silence. The water drained away into the cracked porcelain below where the pipe had burst. I crawled backward, crab-like, out of the bathroom and slammed the door shut. I didn't stop, grabbing my wallet and bolted out the apartment door, leaving it wide open behind me. I ran down 6 flights of stairs because I couldn't bear the idea of stepping into the mirrored elevator. Out on the street, it was pouring with rain. I stood on the sidewalk, my clothes soaked through to the bone. And it was then I realized what I had really done wrong. I looked down at a puddle on the sidewalk. No reflection. I looked in a shop window. Nothing. Checked the side view mirror of a parked car. Empty. I don't cast a reflection anymore. Well, not one that I can see anyway. But in the corner of my eye, I see something. The midnight guest. Walking where I'm walking. A split second behind. Getting closer to the surface with each moment. Whatever it was that crawled out of that sink, I don't think it was just me. And the thing that's tailing me, I think is just waiting for me to stare at a mirror long enough so it can fully emerge. So I'm warning you, if you want to rent a loft in Greystone, don't sign if you see that clause. And if you're listening to this on your phone or your laptop right now, please don't keep staring when the screen goes black.